people. We here today to talk about the impact pharmacy have on people with disability. I got some amazing people here on the panel. So I first want to shout out Valerie. She was like a youth support system for me at SIC because I almost got kicked out twice. But yeah, so Valerie, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Valerie Security, and I'm the Director of Disability Services at Expo-Disability. And I work with lots of students with different disabilities. And as Sophie said, we support everybody in school, help them get over, go around barriers, barriers of students. And testimony is you graduated and have been doing different things since you passed.
And the next person is Alfonso. I actually met him at a mayor's office for the public with disability events. And he lives in South Shore, and he's talking about the state of people with disability in South Shore and how they feel isolated and not getting any support.
My name is Alfonso Robinson. I reside at the Eating Supportive Living Facility in South Shore. And like Sophia said, we met at an event at the mayor's office. And it was turned out to be pretty awesome. We got booster shots and all that stuff. We got to meet the mayor, and things have been going upward since then. And Sophia came to our facility to visit with us, and we were residents there. So got registered for this.
And the last person is Asia. I just got connected through Project Osmosis, and she worked in the administrative office at SIC. So.
My name is Asia Mitchell. I'm the Executive Director of Undergraduate Admissions at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. As Sophia said, I met her through Project Osmosis, which is an organization that we partner with that seeks to connect students K through 12 and even beyond high school with design and art careers and opportunities. I work with recruiting students to the institution, both with the undergraduate and graduate departments. And so I'm working with and interfacing a lot with students who may have physical or mental or emotional disabilities who are seeking higher education. And just beyond SAIC, I work quite a bit with students at the high school level. I'm not a component of SAIC, but I like to work with and partner with my alma mater, the University of Wisconsin, with the scholarship program, and just helping to help students transition from Chicago area to the University of Wisconsin.
Okay, cool. Let's get right into it. So the first question is like, what are some circumstances that keep BIPOC people with disabilities living in poverty? Alfonso, you want to take this first?
Yes. Well, the things that I come up with for this question, one of the first things is access to affordable housing or lack thereof. When you fill out an application for things, housing choice voucher or whatever, that's basically like a 25-year waiting list because I'm on that list right now. And when I checked my code and everything, it said you can access 25 years before you call to look at the product. Also, getting to and from appointments, could be almost like begging for a ride when you have to come pick you up when you doctor's appointment. You sit there for hours and hours to get picked up. It's terrible. It's just kind of like kicks in your anxiety, kind of a little bit of depression. Lack of programs that pay attention to Black people with disabilities, programs that actually pay attention or access to those programs, especially when you live in a supported living facility. There's flyers being passed out, there's on the wall, and set you up for success. And we're forced to live on an income that's below the poverty level. Skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, and supportive living facilities, they take 90% of our income, as well as our supplemental nutrition assistance, which is our income. So you're disabled, and you're just there with nothing. So not only does it keep your body in poverty, it also keeps your mind in poverty.
Okay, and so like to like Valerie and Paige to think about like the students that you're working with SIC and how important, like, cause I say like art saved my life. Like art literally helped me gain more brain function. Like I was literally supposed to be paralyzed from the neck down. And if it wasn't for art, I wouldn't be here today. So like if y'all can talk a little bit like how like y'all are helping students with different types of disabilities at SIC.
I guess I can answer that in simple ways. We, as I said, we have students with all different kinds of disabilities. And sometimes those students have food insecurity, and sometimes they have housing insecurity, sometimes they live on islands with violence in their lives. And those things definitely impact the way they think, what they do, and that then has an impact on how we do things. So we provide support as much as we possibly can in immediate moment. So whatever they come in for, we address, but also we try to connect them to resources outside of us, outside of our office, outside of the school. We are especially concerned with mental health. At SASC, we have many students with anxiety and depression that truly has a negative impact on them. And anything that we can do to support them, to help students feel a sense of belonging and connection. We are very open, very non-judgmental, very, we work hard to find resources for them. And I think, honestly, I think that makes a huge difference. And I don't know, Asia, I think you know probably as much as I do, because we're on the front end of getting to know those things and figuring out who they are as people, what they're doing. And I think we're fixing so that we can advocate, because I know you also will advocate for students to please find their own, please help us. So I think together we will work together.
Lots of emails to Valerie, particularly at the beginning of the semester. But I will say, in admissions and particularly in my role, we partner also with continuing studies. So, and I say that to say, I think oftentimes we start talking about and thinking about resource leader in higher education when the student is applying maybe to that college, when they are a junior or senior in college, or in high school rather, that it really starts earlier. I love to be able to talk to families and parents when their students are in middle school, in elementary school, about resources, and particularly if their students have a disability and struggling with mental health challenges, behavioral challenges, right? How to connect them with resources as early as possible. At SAIC, we have middle school programming for the arts. We're connected with, of course, the Art Institute of Chicago, and there is a host of programming that happens through the Ryan Education Center, where families can start long before you're thinking about college per se, or this idea of us kind of pushing this college-going culture in the Black and Brown community, and the BIPOC community. talking about it, when students are, or just resources rather, and access to the arts and programming when they are 5 years old, when they're 10 years old. Because oftentimes when we're starting that conversation at admissions, and we're waiting until junior, senior in high school, we're behind, right? It's too late to start talking about those resources and building our toolkit and just getting students excited about all of the various opportunities that they may have once they're coming into college or hopefully our institution. The other part of that, though, with Valerie also, which is if and when they are starting to look at SAIC, and I'd love to just say full disclosure, I called SAIC, I love working for the school, but I am very clear that not all students, in particular students with certain disabilities, that our school is going to be the best fit for them. I am an advocate of education, I'm an advocate of education beyond high school, and the type of educational environment that's going to be the best fit both emotionally, holistically, and financially for a family. And so that's not SAIC. I'm on Google, I'm trying to help people find resources and financial resources to make any college or university more affordable for them. And so again, be thinking, yes, financially long in advance before it's time to apply to a school of how they can make college more affordable. And there's so many resources. That doesn't mean that those resources are always accessible. That doesn't mean that they're always, where you can kind of easily figure out how to apply for funds and other resources. But colleges and universities, we need to kind of get beyond this idea that we're the gatekeepers. We should be opening our doors and really thinking about, again, beyond our institution, how we're helping students get to the place that's going to be the best fit for them.
Yeah, because I would say, like, with my personal experience, because I literally, what I get, like, with some of the resources Valerie was talking about, because right after my car accident, I was placed at a disability center at Equity, which is on the west side. And because I was there and my mom did the amazing job that she did to make sure that I had my IDP and all of that, because documentation for people with disability and education is so important. But I was able to get like another grant through the DHS where they help pay the extra money for me to attend SIC. Because if I wouldn't, like, I already have student loans, but my student loans would be so much higher. So, like, I just think that's really important. And just also thinking about, because it's very different. I'm glad that we now have the word neurodivergent, but the different, like, accessibility for people who are neurodivergent and have chronic illness are not put in place. That's why I had farms at SIC, because my accommodation don't look like a person who's in a wheelchair or who's blind. So I just think those are very, like, important things. So, I don't know if y'all covered, but like also talk about like your connection to the BIPOC community, people with disability. Y'all can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah. I guess my information is I'm an educator and a lawyer, and I'm a big believer in education and diversity. So that's just been the experience, and clearly I'm not a Christian person. I really share a lived experience, but there are people that I've met over the years. I've made so many connections, and really great relationships with people from all different disabilities and just the nature of what
What about you, Alfonso, with the connection
I was diagnosed with cervical myopathy, and cervical spondylosis with myopathy, and so that kind of sure there's 150, well, possibly 155 residents there. And I'm the vice president of the resident council there. If you saw, I had kind of influence over the rest of the residents because of the positive energy that I'm trying to share with. And just like they did, I get the stares and you see the whispers, on the bus and stuff like that. And then I also pay a lot of attention to society said to a post-traumatic stress disorder. People think that that only comes from like soldiers, and people that come from the war, but in the definition of post-traumatic stress disorder, internal reminders of a traumatic event and altered anxiety state, changes in thinking, and so I connect like that.
Okay, what about you? Is your connection?
Yeah, so I've been working in education as well for quite some time. Previous to SIC, I worked at Roosevelt University, and I also worked with Truman, teaching a first year experience class for a semester or so. But so I work with all different types of students, and not just students, but also their parents. Sometimes who are challenged with a disability, and then you have a student who's maybe being a caretaker and having to work with their parents as they're transitioning to coming to our institution. Just thinking beyond, my work environment and work life, having family that deals with certain physical and mental challenges. That's been part of my lived experience. But specifically for work, I'm working with students coming into the institution, I'm working with them, current students, and now once they graduate, which is hopefully a great resource for them and helping them to navigate just all different types of spaces.
Yeah, when you met Truman, I actually went to Truman before I came to SIC. Yeah, I was literally like 1 month from graduating from Truman, but I had a real bad silent seizure that where I was already being in a psych ward, and they gave me some type of medication that caused me to stop having thoughts for 2 years. And it was really hard for me to be in like regular classes, and that's why I went to SIC, just like that freedom to explore like my creativity. But like the last question is like basically what are some tools or resources y'all think BIPOC people with disability can really benefit from so that can help them to get out of poverty?
Well, the first thing I would say, what I would tell anybody else, these are some of the tools that I do. So first of all, love yourself first. Learn how to love on yourself. If you can, love yourself. And if anything is worth doing, I have to understand that it takes effort, pain, and difficulty. Anything is worth doing. That's it, the way I see it. And invest your time in art if you can, because I personally feel like art allows us to find ourselves and to lose ourselves at the same time. And like I said, this is just me. It's just how I live. And take life one day at a time, and yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not here yet. Research your condition, if you have one, so that you can help others that are like you. And remember, teamwork makes the dream work. And get out and number two, get out to the mayor's office for people with disabilities, or come to you guys. Ladies, just if it's just nothing for but a visit, to gather information and get yourself acclimated, tell yourself that you're worthy, It's not about what they do or what they say, it's about how you respond or how you react to it. And and I tell people all the time that you're in charge of your happiness. And that is why sometimes we must run this.
Can't go out there with me on Sundays.
Yeah, well, you know, we tell children, put them children down, we ain't playing, you know. But sometimes we must run with them, meaning that we have to take chances sometimes. And this unique right here, you know, she's part of, you guys are the Liberty Chicago. You know, so we have so when I tutor with the students, you know, that's basically the book that I come up with while we must on this.
So, Gary,
So resources, and there's so many, but I guess I'll stick here on the higher ed side. I mean, first giving a plug to like conferences like this. So coming to conferences where you can meet individuals that have resources, have conversations, participate in workshops. So I'm sure the IM conference is going to continue. So that's kind of the first step, just meeting resources, conferences, and making those connections in those environments. Places like SAIC and other colleges and universities, specifically SAIC, we have so much free programming. There are times where I am literally trying to like stalk like Inbreeding Project Osmosis or some of my other connections with community organizations and say we have free classes that start in a couple of weeks, you know, tell parents, tell your students. And sometimes, you know, those classes are not, you know, filled or you have students who are applying for them. So we try to remove barriers and shorten, abbreviate applications and a host of other things to remove barriers for students taking free art classes, whether it be at our school or at an art institute. So take advantage, you know, look for the free opportunities, go on college, and regardless of whether you're a student, whether you even want to attend that school, it's not about that, it's about what's free, right? So researching them, applying for them, and then going for it. Just because you're taking a class at a school does not mean that you're tied to that place and that you have to attend the school. Even little things like, you know, for students who come and visit our campus, we give them free museum tickets. So just by default of you coming and taking a tour of SAIC, you then get access free to the Art Institute, and then also CPS students get free access to the museum. So that's something often students don't know about. But just like your environment that you were mentioning and kind of where you're immersing yourself. And then again, educating yourself. And I don't mean just formal education, but just research, Google, Instagram. There's just so many different, you know, handles, YouTube channels that students can and parents can look into. There was one that I found that was just a host of information, the national resources for students with disabilities in higher education. Again, take the higher education off of it because so many of these organizations are for anyone, you know, whether it be the parent, whether you're someone who doesn't have children per se, but you are someone with a disability and you're looking for, you know, information for your physical or mental health resources. That is a great resource. There's all like these hyperlinks that will take you to various national organizations or even some community organizations where you can take advantage of, you know, whatever resource you need.
I didn't know as I seen that free good last time to look into that.
It's the Chicago Youth Artist grant that we have, and so students can basically take classes year round. Of course, it's broken up into like terms or semesters, but if you're a Chicago student between the ages of 13 and 18, you can apply for the Chicago Youth Artist, but don't drop the paper. So we have continuing education courses for adults. Again, there is programming in the Ryan Education Center in the Art Institute. I do think that that is more geared towards younger students, but there's a lot of different programming in the museum as well that adults can take advantage of. And then if they're interested in anything related to adult education, talk to me. and I know what resources we have for adult education as well.
Okay, take us home, Valerie.
Wow, well, I agree with everything. I think that education, I love years and education is particularly, that's the key. And as I just said, it doesn't have to be formal education. You can learn all kinds of things at your own time, at your own pace. And you can even, I think it's important to learn the system you have to do, what you have to learn. The more you know about whatever it is you're navigating, every little bit to do. But also, for sure, with yourself, take care of yourself, make yourself a priority, and find where you feel you find the people that support you. They're out there. They're for sure out there. And share resources and share knowledge and know that you're not alone. It's really heartbreaking. There are so many young adults who are lost and they don't know who to connect to or they don't feel like they belong anywhere. And I think finding your community, finding your tribe is so critical to making all those other things happen. Because you have to feel like you deserve it. Of course, everyone deserves whatever you want. And to make it better, I think just having a mindset like that will take you so far, and it just builds. It builds on each thing you do and each accomplishment that you have builds on the other, and it makes those worries and fears and anxiety, depression with lessons. And I think that's in the place we are today, with so much trauma and so much difficulty fighting for everything, is wears people down. And I think the only way we can survive is to do it together and to yeah, for sure.
And then I also want to pull up a additional resource guide that I co-authored. It's called Being Black and Disabled is in the Pool. There's a lot of information that talk about the intersectionality of Blackness and disability. There's a lot of links to grants. We name a lot of Black celebrities and historical figures that have disabilities. There are grants and how to get accommodations. So yeah, and before end, like, is there any questions to like our audience that we didn't?
There's a lot of young people with disabilities there to see them. Looks well, I live you have to be 18 to 60. There's some people that are 20s.
Oh, you that's okay.
Oh,
Love you all people. I just want to sometimes we don't even know what we need until like being in the space that you created. It's like, I really need to follow you and bring such kindness to share with us. I just want you to stay encouraged and continue because I know it's going to work. But it was so excellent presentation. The resources, I want to know are there, you all's cards or whatever, like to be able to look at the information? I did look at the grants, for the youth, I have a few youth, I have a community garden. And, I found how just the myobacterium is also, a agent that helps to facilitate, people that deal with PTSD. So, that being a resource, and as you stated, and, Fonzo, and also, with Asia, just the need for us to collaborate, because we're just dealing with systems that are just anti-life in terms of the system itself, not necessarily people who are, sometimes overwhelmed with always feeling like you have to constantly keep fighting. And no one wants to live a life where you're always fighting, but I do hope that we are able to still find joy, which is really important in what we're doing. Like, I do love serving. It brings me joy to see people encouraged. So it actually is a reciprocal exchange in the works that we're doing to deal with and address inequities in our community. I do want the contact information. You all presented a lot of very valuable information that, I would love to share with the communities that I work with, that I know would love to partner and also help with the word of mouth and getting some of this, because that's the most difficult thing. It's not a lack of people that are trying to sort of bridge the gap between resources and people, but oftentimes it's just the capacity of being able to reach the demographics that are active. I definitely want, I don't know how to contact you all, have cards.
I have
Be prepared. But like, yes, like, she have an amazing like garden, there's art, there's a little like bonfire. And I went there and it felt so good just to like take off my shoes and be free. And it was like
I
a
saw
community. We
You
made
know,
like a
they-
fruit salad together and we were just, and like she said, it was so many, it was like intergeneration. We had the elders, we had the babies, we had the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the X. Like it was beautiful for us all to come together and just to have conversation. And there's even like a stage there for people to perform. To come to. And that also made me think about there's another garden right off from Robeson College. And the lady who had the sheep was one of the ladies that was on the but she got out. And like, so she got like the garden doing beautiful things.
Yeah, there's a lot of gardens on the south side, but that would be a great way to sort of kind of bridge this relationship with those that are experiencing, inequities, in regards to disability or a lack of, representation. That can be a space, so it also creates this sort of like on the ground, natural, organic word of mouth, the resources that you all have. There are a lot of people, there's a lot of people south side that are doing amazing work. And of course, through intentional sabotage or, propaganda that is, disseminated through the different broadcasting networks is intentional. Because the amount of good that's happening in the south side of Chicago, it really does overwhelm all the negativity in terms of the field. I just know there's so many extraordinary people like yourselves that are doing just phenomenal work that should be highlighted. But the south side, it's intentional and sabotage. And it all boils down to creating fear and wanting us to constantly have a sense of being in balance, so we're never feeling stable enough to really be able to honor our culture and be able to build upon it. It always feels like we have to start from ground zero. But we know what we're dealing with. So this is important.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, thank you for that, because it's 12 and the food left to come. So, yeah, but that's a good way. And that's, like, one reason, like, even when I went to SIC, I rocked the South Side hard, because, like, when people, because at SIC, it was a lot of students scared to come to the South Side because of the Thomas Shire rat. And there's so much, like, beauty and joy. And it's just all about us reclaiming our city back.
Thank you.
I definitely want the cards or whatever.